Hey everyone, welcome back. I sent out an email about a week ago talking about why, just some of those reasons that machines are safer. And I actually added one more to that list. And anyone who does subscribe to my email list, of course, you'll get that free download PDF. That's really what this is all about, is getting y'all as much information as possible so that you can just get started on your journey right now on machines with all of the advice that is necessary to begin today. You can download that PDF for free. Of course, then every week you'll get a tip to your email. So, last week I was talking about machines and they're so much safer, and that's why I endorse them. They're safer in a few ways. It's a lot easier to keep perfect form, especially if we're comparing, say, like a squat to the leg press. I could put someone on the leg press machine and they could perform it perfectly the first time. It's a lot more difficult to do that with a squat, perfect form, especially if you're self-evaluating yourself. If you're your own trainer, which is what essentially I'm doing now, and it's what I'm endorsing as well because it's what I'm doing. And there's a lot of evaluations that go into that, if you had someone one-on-one working with you, it'd be a little different, easier, way easier, right? So there's a lot to think about while you're doing exercise. So the second thing is that these are really easy. Most machines are really easy, deceivingly easy to adapt for injuries in the past, and of course the way we do that is we just, if it's like an upper body exercise, we just grab the handle, pull it through some of that range of motion after pulling the pin out from the weights, and then you'll notice a gap in the stack at that point. Just pop that pin right back in there while you're choosing the weight and still have hold of that handle. Of course, what we're doing is we're creating more of an angle. So of course, for me, for my preacher curl or bicep curl, my right elbow is just going to have problems probably forever, because of what I did to it. But I have to start just a little bit higher, and that's totally fine, of course. That's why, the second reason why machines, I endorse them more than anything, So if you were doing like a body weight exercise that's really good, so a Superman works out really well. You can even move through a little bit of range of motion. You're technically working your lats, your glutes, your hamstrings, everything really on your back. There's going to be some traps as well, some shoulders, a little bit in the arms, not a whole lot. But, if someone has a serious lower back problem and the Superman just hurts to do, period, well, you just can't do that exercise. That's a big difference with body weight exercises and machines. Like I said, why I endorse machines. Third reason why I think machines are superior, right? It isolates the target muscles a whole lot better. And I say superior, safer. It's just another reason for that safety. Not just is it easier to keep perfect form, adapt for injuries, but a good example again is the biceps. Just going back to that, because when I use dumbbells, and it's always been this way, especially after I strengthened my arms so much, and I strengthened these muscles a lot, I'm using tons of these muscles every time I'm doing bicep curls on dumbbells. Of course, if I'm doing that super slow standing here, it probably an isolated single curl on your knee would probably be better to take these out of the picture there, but you're still going to get quite a bit of it. And so machines isolate muscles a whole lot easier. The fourth thing, it keeps the muscles engaged more efficiently, especially these really awesome machines like Nautilus and MedX. And what I mean is, the cams that work on that, they put an emphasis on the maximum contraction point of the body. So they really, and you can tell a difference between using machines at Planet Fitness and using machines, or any gym, Precor, any of these, and using a Nautilus machine. It is obvious, especially, like there are certain points through range of motion with the Planet Fitness gear and other machines I've used recently, Cybex. And on machines, and this is the last reason why I endorse them above other methods of strength training like body weight and dumbbells, but intensity of effort becomes essentially easier when it comes down to it. Now, when I say intensity of effort becomes easier, there's a few factors about that. Tracking your progress becomes easier. So here's a good example. If I'm doing a glute bridge or body weight squat, or if I did a one-legged glute bridge and then I moved into a squat, just normal body weight squat, your time is going to get so far into the weeds that, how long could someone do that? I could probably hit 3, 4, 5 minutes on those. Where on machines, I have to load a lot of weight onto it just because my glutes and my legs are way stronger than really anybody at the studio, the Clear Lake studio that I was working at, the Super Slow studio, for 7 years. I lifted the largest amount in my leg muscles, essentially. And so, if I try to go into body weight squats, it's going to take me forever to hit momentary muscular failure. Just bizarre, insane amount of time. But on machines, you can load those up. I was pushing about 500 on the Nautilus machine, moving at a 10-second pace, so very intense. And hitting failure every time, of course, probably about a minute and 20 seconds, something like that. So it was in a really good, perfect time frame for, say, using a Nautilus machine to get to that momentary muscular failure. And, here's the deal. The machines that you'd be using at a gym that I am teaching you how to use, in this course coming up. I know I said I was going to release that last week or earlier in the week, and the software's taken quite a while to get all the ins and outs done. Should be ready by tomorrow, though. So I hope so. If not, no big deal, too. Then we'll just do, and it's going to be 5 days on sale. So Monday through Friday is kind of my perceived launch, but then I'll probably just open it up tomorrow or the next day, for an extra day of sales or whatever. So I hope y'all will jump on the chance of getting that while it's $60 less than it will be after, especially with the really discounted rate. I'm less than $120. And I'm going to continue to add videos to this consistently and very often, especially the bonus sections. I'm going to record one on, how important nutrition is. And when I say nutrition, what I really mean to say is the environment of the organism. If you take these scientific principles like stimulus organism response in biology and you apply it to psychology, what they found was, and we're talking about kind of like counseling or things like that. I was reading this because if you Google stimulus organism response, you'll get a lot of psychological talk. A lot of psychologists talking about how they used to make this, this full assumption of stimulus response, and it didn't account the organism into it. So when I say the environment of the organism, we're not just talking about nutrition, we're talking about everything else that you do as well to your body, whether it's not just nutrition-wise, but other factors also really do go into this. Habits, even your posture, things of that nature, that's a part of the organism, of course. Anything you do with your body, essentially, is going to be that factor. And of course, that's the same factor that we're talking about when we discuss genetics, because every organism is going to have different genetics. So that's even a factor when it comes down to the model of stimulus organism response, which of course the workout is a negative threat that we're doing to the body, and it produces a stimulus. That's the stimulus. It acts upon our organism, and then of course we get an adaptive response. We want the environment to be great as well, and of course nutrition comes into that. And I'm going to have a full bonus video on that as well that I'm going to be adding to the course next week also. I'm going to try to just add a bonus video to it every week, and that's going to mean there's just going to be tons of tons and tons of very valuable information in there, in the course itself. Over time, it's going to continue to get more and more valuable, and the price is probably going to go up. I'll never push it up so bizarrely high that people can't afford it, of course. Because, $120, $170 is actually pretty darn good, just because after supervising over 15,000 in-person, super slow, high-intensity strength training workouts, and studying this stuff for so long on my own, I have a lot to share with you. I have 7 years of practice with people on an individual basis that I want to spend my time helping people and helping all of y'all. So come back for my next video. I'm going to create a video about everything that's in the course, I guess kind of like a pitch, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you what you're going to get when you do purchase it, of course. So I'll have that video out either tomorrow or the next day. And, of course, hey, I hope you live a longer life through the power of strength training. Have a good day.